Miller's ex-wife said he poured hot water on her, held a gun to her head, broke their daughter's collarbone. Miller has, of course, denied these allegations, but today he said on CNN that you are, quote, standing behind him.
This isn't about what the national media thinks. This isn't about what people in California or New York or Florida think about what goes on in Ohio 7. What you're going to see here, Jake, is that I am going to be successful in this November because my constituents know who I am, and they also know who my ex-father-in-law is, and they also know who my ex-wife is. And that's why you've seen people aren't running from me. My numbers in fundraising are strong. You know, Speaker Mike Johnson, everyone else, they're standing behind me. No one has told me to get off the ballot.
The president called him. Max Miller said this, that the president called him and told him, you know, things aren't looking good for you.
Speaker Mike Johnson is in full-blown panic mode ahead of the midterms, and the thing is, he thinks he's identified the greatest threat currently facing American families. No, not unaffordable healthcare. No, not soaring housing costs. Not the deeply unpopular war with Iran. Not even a Republican congressman facing allegations that he beat his former partner, pointed a gun at her head and injured their 2-year-old child. No, none of that. Mike Johnson is focused on the, quote, mini Mamdanis.
Sorry about that. So I know saw these ex-posts from House Speaker Mike Johnson coming off the win of progressive candidates yesterday, but did you see it? Because if not, I want to read it.
I have not followed his ex.
Must take a stand and fight to protect the greatest nation in the history of the world from being overrun by mini Mamdanis. So
it's a lot of characters. He must have the pro account.
This, of course, following Abdul El-Sayed's victory in Michigan's Democratic Senate primary, and Johnson warned that America must choose whether to remain the world's great superpower or allow what he called, quote, radical Marxist Democrats to destroy the foundations of the country. He said Republicans must prevent America from being, quote, overrun by mini Mamdanis. And the mayor of New York, as he tends to do so often, had the perfect response.
I want you to hear what he said.
Please.
He said, there is an urgent question facing America. Are we going to maintain our status as the world's greatest superpower and beacon of liberty, opportunity, and security, or allow radical Marxist Democrats to destroy the very foundations that make us the envy of the entire world? Then he has a new paragraph. Democrats now openly express disdain for America and embrace the failed, dangerous, deadly path of communism. We must take a stand and fight to protect the greatest nation in the history of the world from being overrun by mini Mamdanis. So
it's a lot of characters. He must have the pro account. Well, I'm assuming that's in response to Abdul El-Sayed's victory yesterday evening. And I think first I'd just like to congratulate Dr. Abdul El-Sayed on his victory. He ran a campaign where it was best described by his words of money out of politics, money in your pocket, Medicare for all. And if those simple commitments and beliefs are what drives Representative Johnson to these kinds of conclusions, I think it shows you how deeply out of touch the Republican Party is with the concerns of working class Americans.
Now, last month, the Speaker described Democratic Socialist candidates as, quote, barbarians, and warned that, quote, crazy little mini Mamdanis were popping up around the country and endangering American families. He's got a point, right? Look at New York. The stories of people attending Mamdani's rallies in New York, banging their hands together aggressively at the announcement of the first 2,000 sign-ups for free childcare. I mean, the animosity.
You know, in the 2012 mixtape Rich Forever, Rick Ross and French Montana expound on what it takes to stay scheming within a system that so often seems to benefit only a select few. Unfortunately, too many New York City families can relate. Though the circumstances of their schemes may look different, they too must stay creative to afford childcare in our city. While there is pride in managing to make it all work, Rick Ross is clear that scheming takes a toll. Stress, exhaustion, hypervigilance. Again, what working parent can't relate? Today, we are one step closer to doing away with New Yorkers' need to stay scheming, because today, we are incredibly proud to announce that we have filled our first seats for free 2K programs in our city. Next month, 2,000 of New York's cutest will begin learning, playing, and growing at 2K programs across 4 areas of our city, including right here in School District 10.
But the funny thing about Abdul El-Sayed is he's not actually a mini Mamdani on many issues, right? El-Sayed has explicitly described himself as a capitalist who understands how capitalism works. He ran on Medicare for All, campaign finance reform and opposition to corporate political spending, but differentiates on certain matters. But of course, for people like Mike Johnson, he sees certain similarities, so he thinks they're all the same.
Are you concerned about being labeled a socialist?
I think that folks who come here, like with 2 weeks left in the election, really, really want to label me a socialist. I don't know why, except for maybe it fits into a nice telling of a broader national story. But I'm a scientist, right? And I like solutions that solve problems. That's the approach that I've always taken. I don't do ideology. I'd rather think of myself as a capitalist who actually read about capitalism, in the sense that the biggest risk to capitalism was always going to be corporate consolidation and monopoly rather than government regulation. In fact, you need some government regulation to make sure that capitalism runs well. I want to make sure that our capitalism is functional rather than allowing big corporations to buy politicians to rig the system against us.
El-Sayed defeated the establishment candidate Haley Stevens and now faces Trump-endorsed Republican Mike Rogers in one of the most important Senate contests in the country. Meanwhile, there are many online who have pointed out that MAGA Mike should be more concerned with his own party as opposed to the opposition, seeing as they are facing their fair share of issues at the moment. Look at the issue with Republican Max Miller of Ohio, who is facing severe allegations from Emily Moreno, his former partner and daughter of Republican Senator Bernie Moreno. Moreno has explicitly stated some severe allegations regarding him attacking her, pointing a gun to her head, and allegedly breaking their child's collarbone. And a House Ethics Committee investigation will review the domestic abuse allegations as well as separate allegations involving illegal drug use.
Is also concerned.
When's the last time you ever used illegal drugs? Because you're being
drugs.
Yes, because you're being investigated right now by the House Ethics Committee.
The last time, I would have to say, the last time I had illegal drugs would have been, I don't know, several years ago. I mean, I don't have a time frame on it, but I don't use illegal
20?
drugs. No, Jake, this is what they're doing, okay? This whole, needles thing, this is testosterone replacement therapy. People are painting this as something that it's not. Secretary Hegseth, who is the Secretary of War just 3 weeks ago, allowed our entire military, who are males, to take testosterone replacement therapy. That's what I was doing. I have not been using any illegal drugs. This is not.
Mike Johnson, when he was asked whether he supports a member of his conference remaining a congressional candidate while allegations this grave, especially when Republicans are so up in arms when a Democrat running for office is accused of misconduct, which, by the way, the Democratic Party condemns in unison and the candidate dropped out. But with Republicans, there's as much grey area as there are grey hairs, right? And more so than the man of God, Speaker Johnson himself, who essentially minimized the issue as one of many, quote, domestic events occurring among more than 400 members of Congress and said it was not his business to become involved. Domestic events. That is an extraordinary description for a man who often cites the Bible as he goes and strips away healthcare from everyday Americans.
Miller's ex-wife said he poured hot water on her, held a gun to her head, broke their daughter's collarbone. Miller has, of course, denied these allegations, but today he said on CNN that you are, quote, standing behind him. Are you?
I haven't spoken to Max in a few days. I've been traveling nonstop and haven't had an opportunity to do that. I think what Max is suggesting there is that I've been intellectually consistent, always have, since before I became Speaker and certainly over the last almost 3 years. This applies equally to Republicans and Democrats. We don't take disciplinary action against members for allegations. He is vehemently denying this. It's, in his own words, a nasty divorce proceeding, and it's gotten ugly and it's gotten public. But he's saying the same things privately to members that he is publicly, that he denies all this and he thinks it's a hit job on him.
Will you tell him to drop out?
No, I will tell Max what I tell everyone. These are serious allegations. I'm the father of 2 daughters who work in Capitol Hill. I mean, the allegations are serious. I think Max is taking them seriously. I think our colleagues are. But again, we have to allow this process to play out. It's just begun.
I mean, the president called him. Max Miller said this, that the president called him and told him, things aren't looking good for you.
Well, I mean, they don't look good right now, of course. But again, like, what should a speaker do in this case? I mean, I call out alarming behavior. I try to work every day on decorum and on the, ethics of the House. We have a very active and engaged ethics committee. they've done more work than they need to. I wish it wasn't necessary, but there's been a lot in this Congress on both sides of the aisle.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised to see him invoke your name because he has also not been the most generous toward you. He said that he wouldn't support you for re-election as Speaker or Minority Leader. He also said that you're dividing Republicans with a smile.
I think you could ask every other Republican, they would tell you that's not true. And look, Max has had a lot of issues in his life. I don't return fire. That doesn't bother me. And there's a lot of criticism that comes with the job. I'm not going to use this situation to say something negative about him. He's got to work out the things in his family life, and that's an issue for the voters of Ohio's 7th District. It's an issue for the Miller family to work out, and the Moreno family.
But the thing is, with MAGA Mike's attack on the mini Mamdanis, it all comes from the same place. They are frightened. Democrats are currently leading the national generic congressional ballot by approximately 6.4 points, according to numerous sources and the Silver Bulletin polling average. Recent individual surveys include Democratic advantages of 7 points in Fox News, of all places. And the panic is not based solely on the polls either, right? Across 42 contested state legislative special elections in 2026, Democrats have run a median of 10.4 points ahead of Kamala Harris's 2024 performance in the same districts. Democrats have also flipped multiple Republican-held state legislative seats, while Republicans have not really produced a comparable series of flips. And I mean, one of the most dramatic examples came in Texas earlier this year. I mean, the difference in enthusiasm is unmistakable, right? Democrats are showing up and Republicans are underperforming.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasTouch.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasTouch.com.